Hi everyone, welcome to another quick video regarding using your IP data on the IC maps. This time we're going to be talking about zonal analysis, the types of analysis you can display and what they can look like on your map. So here we are in IP, we've done our analysis on our wells and we want to open up IC. So here we have IC with our same wells listed. And we now have them on our map, so we can see our well paths and our locations. This map I already have a shapefile sitting in the background. On the maps we have options to do zonal analysis, to break down a zone's components, to calculate an average value, or generate a subcrop or supercrop plot based on our stratigraphic understanding. So we start with a component bubble. We get to choose what data type we set our zones from, so we can pick one of our IP data types, for example tops. We get to choose which particular zone we are interested in. You'll see that the top and base are both picked as EV because in the data it has a top and base depth. We can then look at a particular data type, so if we've interpreted lithology information or a fascies interpretation. In this case, what I've done is used a fascies log that came in from IP and used some of our utilities to generate interval data based on those curves. And that's what I'm going to show in my component bubbles. So I point to my parameter I want to look at, and once I hit apply, you can see at each of the wells that have the EV zone and have a fascies interpretation, I get this pie chart around my well location to show the breakdown of the interpreted fascies. You can plot the text along with these bubbles, so not only can you look at the key and see what the colours mean, but you could actually look at the percentage of each zone, the actual totals in thickness, so 51 feet of the distal lower shore face over here, 29.4 feet over in this well. When you look at the bubbles and you can see partial bubbles, that implies that the zone that we're looking at has not been completely interpreted. So what we can do is have a quick look at the data in our well. And if we are looking at the particular zone, so for example our EV, we can look at the detail here, so you can see the top part of EV has no electrofascies data. You could go in of course here and start editing and adding in extra information. So let's say that this section here is actually also distal lower shore face. We could go in and choose something completely different. Obviously you're going to have information in here that's going to make this interpretation meaningful, and add in more zones. So when we go back to our bubbles, you can see that the proportion of missing interpretation there has changed, and that's based on that data we have just updated directly within IC. So that's component bubbles. Another kind of bubble is an average value. So much like the grids will pick up a zone and then look at a log and average that value, we can do a very simple look at a zone here and pick anything with a value. So we go to our curves, we could pick any of our IP curve sets, and let's go for a porosity. And if we hit apply, you'll see the bubbles change. And we need to plot the text here. We have proportional values, so you can see very quickly we've obviously higher porosities over here compared to over in these wells. But if we plot the text values, we can actually see our source curve and our averaging for that zone. And that's your average value bubbles. The third kind of bubble you can show is a subcrop or supercrop. We can pick an event and ask at the base of this event, I could look for my lithologies or my fascies. What is the base of my EV sitting on with regard to electrofascies? But you can see quite clearly we have some proximal lower shore face over here, a lot of distals and some offshore areas going into turbidites over to the west. So again, you can turn these labels off and depend solely on your key panel. Let's change that to be the top of the interval and the supracrop. So this is sitting directly above the top of the EV, and you can see we have no interpretation for a few of these wells. We've gone offshore onto the southeast here, and we're going proximal lower shore face further northwest. So this can help you when it comes to mapping out and drawing some paleo environment maps, for example. That's it for zonal analysis. Thank you for listening. Here's a quick breakdown of what we talked about. If you have any questions regarding the zonal analysis, there are other options. These were the very simple ones. There are ways to plot with the vertical breakdown as well as just a pie chart as well. So if you have any questions, please do get in touch or just have a play. Thanks.